Good Monday morning. Came fast again. It's pretty outside this morning now. When I took the dog out, all the pretty snow on the little bit of snow on the ground, but the pretty snow on the branches of the trees always makes me smile. For today's practice, 2 blocks would be helpful. We're going to start briefly seated, and then we're going to go into child's pose to begin with. But don't let that fool you, because this one's a pretty vigorous practice. As we're sitting in an upright shape, I would like you to practice some Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath translates to victorious breath, and it's a breath practice, a pranayama practice, frequently woven into your asana practice. It serves a couple purposes. There's a little back pressure in the throat, so that stimulates the vagal nerve and calms the nervous system. That back pressure helps keep the little air sacs, the distal ends of the airways, they look like little grapes, keeps them open a little longer, so the exchange of gases can happen over a longer period of time, making the lungs and the breath more efficient. And also that sound, that quiet whisper in the back of your throat, you get used to hearing that in your practice. And you'll notice when you don't hear it, and that usually means that you're struggling, you're either holding your breath, or you just need to reassess the positions that you're trying to get into. So it's your teacher. So let's sit up nice and tall. I'm on a blanket right now. And we'll spend just a couple minutes here, and then we're going to take it to a wide child's pose. So just come to the breath this morning. Just find the breath in its natural state. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now inhale, and on this next exhale, open your mouth and make the sound of like you're trying to fog up a mirror as you exhale. A little whisper, and then close the mouth and inhale through the nostrils. And as you're practicing this, become familiar with what the throat's doing to make that sound. Now on this next exhale, start with an open mouth. Halfway through, close it, but keep the sound in the throat, and then we'll continue that way. Two more. And then open the eyes. Let's come to a wide child's pose. You have any props on the mat, and toss them off to the side. Put your blocks up here at the top of the mat. Knees wide, big toes together. Set the hips back, and maybe you take a little bit of time to do that. Wide hip positions this early in the morning. Give those muscles time to wake up. And then maybe the heart will come down to the mat. You can stack your fists here. You can bring a block under your forehead, or simply I like the head turned to the side in a wide child's pose. And as you return to that Ujjayi breath, know that you can layer that into the inhale as well. And it doesn't have to be loud. In fact, it shouldn't be loud. That's a strain on the vocal cords, so just a whisper. And as we take a few more breaths, maybe start wiggling fingers and tapping your feet around back there. Two more breaths here. And then reach long with the arms and lift your chest. We'll do a nice stretch to the shoulders. Take the left arm underneath the right, crawl over there, but nothing real stressful, nothing real forced right now. Just waking up the shoulders. Throughout the practice, I'll remind you to return to the Ujjayi breath. Let's take the second side, right behind left. Unwind and come up into table. Draw the knees underneath the hips. Let's start with trusty old cat-cow. Let's warm up the spine. Take yourself through about 3 of each, keeping that Ujjayi breath. Nice, slow waking up movements of the spine. I've got one more round. Come back to a neutral spine. Now I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. From table, I want you to reach back with your right foot. Come onto the ball of the foot. Let's wake up the calf muscle. Push back through the heel. Bend the knee just a bit. Feel that stretch shift. Now reach through the heel and lift. Keep the foot flexed. So you're pressing through the heel. We're coming into bird dog. Now the left hand comes out like you're going to shake hands with somebody out there. The thumb is up. Stay strong in the right arm. So rise up out of the shoulder socket. And as you exhale, we're going to draw knee to elbow, elbow to knee. And then inhale, reach long. Do one more like that. And this time, as you draw your knee forward, just swing your arm back. Just a little something different to do with your arm. Let's do 3 more or 2 more of these. And keep the leg lifted, but place the hand back down. And swing that leg across. Come to the ball of the feet. You're going to do a lateral side bend with the spine. Look over your left shoulder so you can see your toes. And push the right shoulder forward as you're really reaching with the right leg. Breathe into the right ribs. And then back to table. If you need to give a little love to that right hand, go right. Reach back with the left leg, ball of the foot. Push back through the heel. Nice stretch. Bend the knee a bit. Now push through the heel. Lift the leg. Keep the hips square to the mat. Reach out with the right hand. Exhale, bring elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. 2 or 1 more like that. And then 3, as you draw the knee forward, you're reaching back with the arm. To stabilize in a different way. 1 more. Now plant your hand, reach out with the leg, and swing it over to the right. Take the gaze over the right shoulder. Push the left shoulder forward as you really reach with the left leg. And then back to table. Let's do just a few circles through the hips. And then go the other way. And I'm going to turn again. Tuck your fingers, or tuck your fingers. Tuck your toes. I'm interesting. Tuck your fingers. And lift up into down dog. And we'll wiggle here a little bit. Let's make some space. Get some blood flowing. Tell those muscles that we're about to start working. About 3 more breaths here, just finding space, exploring. And then settle into stillness, but walk your feet wide, left and right edges of the mat. Bend your knees and then send your sit bones straight up. Reach the heels down. Spread through the fingers. Pressing into the base of the index finger and the base of the thumb. Grip the pads of the fingers to the mat. And breathe. See if you can lift your palms with that grip. Just a little tiny bit, like you had a ladybug that needed to crawl underneath your hand. Bring your gaze forward. We're going to walk to the top of the mat, but we're going to arrive with the feet on the outside of the hands and the knees bent. I grab opposite elbows and move here. If swaying feels good, do that. You do some movement with the kind of rockabye baby with the forearms. How many ways you can move your arms. And then come to stillness, letting the head hang. Feel the breath up and down the spine. And take the hands behind the calf muscles and we'll wake up the hamstrings a bit. As you inhale, work to straighten, at least in that direction, the legs, head is down. And then exhale, the hips drop again. Inhale, lift, feel that stretch in the back of the thighs. And exhale, drop the hips. Let's do one more like this. Inhale. Exhale, drop the hips. Now bring your fingertips in front of you. You can even use your blocks here. And we're going to lift halfway. So crown of the head is reaching forward. Hips are reaching back. And internally rotate the legs like you're trying to roll the inseam of your pants behind you. Now exhale, bend into the knees again. Bend into the elbows. Pull the feet away from each other. Swing your arms out and up. And find mountain pose. I'm going to step back a little bit. Walk the feet underneath the hips for mountain pose. And pause and listen again for Ujjayi. Sound of the ocean. And we'll take a twist here. As you inhale, reach up. We're going to twist to the right, but only let the arms come down to shoulder height. And hold as you're over here. Reach in both directions. Take your gaze over the right shoulder. Stay like this with the arms and then take the gaze towards the left fingertips. Inhale, face forward, arms overhead. Exhale, hands home to the heart. Second side, inhale. And twisting to the left, arms shoulder height. Reaching in both directions. Take the gaze to the left fingertips. And then turn the head and take the gaze to the right fingertips. Reach in both directions. Swing your arms above you. And then as you exhale, we're going to drop the elbows down into a goalpost or goddess. And then lift the heart here. Reach the shoulder blades back towards the spine. Soften through the knees a bit. Pull the feet away from each other here. Support your back. Let those elbows drop down. Shoulders drop down out of the ears as you lift the heart. And on your next inhale, swing the arms up. And exhale, we'll fold forward. On an inhale, lift halfway. Take the fingertips to the blocks. And on an exhale, we're going to fold forward, step back into plank. And once you arrive in plank, shift forward so the shoulders go in front of or beyond the wrist crease. Now bend your knees and bring your chest down to the mat, your chin down to the mat, and then complete this lengthening through the body once you get here. Bring the hands right next to the armpits and we'll lift up into a nice gentle baby cobra. Let's do a total of 5. We'll roll with the breath. Exhale down. So just a gentle lift, maybe just half of the ribs come up. And down. 3 more, inhale. And with every exhale, bring the forehead to the mat. So you kind of tuck your chin. Then as you inhale, the chest moves first, and then the head unfurls. I think I have one more, let's count. Tuck the toes. See if you can press right up into plank, or maybe you need to go up to table. And then down dog. Long meat and down dog. Keep your feet hip distance apart, bend your knees a lot. And then stick your tailbone, like curl your tailbone upward. As you inhale, then finish reaching the sit bones, trying to point them right up towards the sky as you stretch through the hamstrings by working to reach the heels towards the mat. Bring your gaze forward between the hands. Let's see if we can take 2 big steps to get to the top. Feet will come to the inside of the hands this time. Using your blocks, lift halfway. Think long spine. Exhale, soften the knees. And fold. Inhale, swing the arms out and up. And exhale, the hands home to the heart. Find your Ujjayi again. Maybe we'll pretend we're at the ocean. All righty, here we go. Inhale up. And exhale, fold. Lift halfway. Exhale, bring the hands to the mat, step back into plank. Shifting forward. Reach back with those feet. So kind of wiggle on the balls of the feet. And drop the knees. Bring the chest down, chin. Let's do 3 higher cobra this time. So tuck the chin on an inhale. Unfurl the head last. And exhale down. 2 more. Last one. Tuck the toes, press up into plank or table, and then down dog. Now bring your right leg back and up. And step forward between the hands. We'll come into a low lunge first with the fingertips down on the mat. Look at that back foot. Make sure you have your feet on railroad tracks, not on a tightrope. And then rise up. Hands to heart. And we'll take a twist to the right. Open up. Reach in both directions. Feel the stabilizers working hard to keep you balanced. Listen for Ujjayi. 2 more breaths. Now swing that back arm down and back to the front. Both arms come up. High crescent lunge. And on your exhale, we're going to come back down to a low lunge. Get your blocks. And you can put them on any setting. We're going to come into a pyramid pose. You may want to kind of keep that back foot up 1 step. Straighten through that front leg. And then soften again. Stretching through the hamstrings. We're going to pulse back and forth between kind of a low lunge. And then working to straighten the leg, come to pyramid. Let's do 1 more and then we'll hold. Two more breaths. I bend into that front knee. Rise up again in high crescent lunge. Now we're going to fold forward again and bring the arms back beside of us like we're flying. Keep breathing. Now inhale, lift up into high crescent lunge.
Now we're going to open into warrior two. So my back leg rotated, externally rotated. Draw your sit bones underneath you. Don't let your butt stick out, and soften the ribs. And turn the right palm up and drop the left hand down the back leg and take peaceful warrior. And then back to warrior two, palm down. Swing that back arm around, coming onto the ball of the foot. We're going to come back to high crescent lunge. And fold forward here. Reaching for the blocks. We're going to hop up into warrior three using the blocks. Sometimes it helps to bring the wrists a little forward of the shoulders. Listening for Ujjayi. Try to lift some of the weight off of the hands on the block. And maybe you're even able to come into airplane. Now dismount with that back leg, slowly bringing the foot down, low lunge. Plank. Shifting forward. Maybe chaturanga now. Maybe you don't need to bring your knees down. And then high cobra, three of them. One. Tuck your chin when you come down. Two, let your chest come up first and then unfurl the head. And one more. Tuck the toes, find plank. And down dog. Feet are hip distance, bend your knees a lot. Curl the tailbone up, and then as you inhale, reach the heels down and the sit bones up. Listening for Ujjayi. Now swing the left leg back in up. Step it forward between the hands. Low lunge. So fold it forward with the fingertips on the mat. You can have the blocks on your hand too. Look at the feet. Make sure you're on railroad tracks. And then inhale, rise up. Hands to heart. Settle into this high lunge. And then open into a twist. Arms are shoulder height. Look back at the left fingertips over the left shoulder. Feel the stabilizers. Now swing that back arm down as you bring it forward. We're going to fold forward here. Get your blocks. Getting ready for that pulsing pyramid. You can bring the back foot forward a bit. And then work to straighten that front leg. And then bend. Just go at your pace. Bring awareness to your hamstrings. And then just a gentle stretch. I don't know, is stretching hamstrings ever a gentle process? Not for me. And then we'll come into pyramid and hold. Hold that stretch. Bending into the front knee. Rise up in your lunge. High crescent lunge with the arms up by the ears. And pause here. We're going to open to warrior two. Externally rotate the back leg. Open the arms out. Reach in both directions. Check out that front knee. You should be able to see your toes, at least the first two or three. And the knee should be right over the ankle.
Feel your warrior. Now flip the left palm, drop the right hand, and come up into peaceful warrior. And back to warrior two. Back to high crescent lunge. And then coming forward into warrior three, using your blocks. So a supported warrior three. And use the blocks as extensions of your arms. Just a light touch on the blocks. And maybe you lift out into airplane. And come to the ball of the foot on the right, slowly dropping that foot, coming back to high crescent lunge. Hold forward, low lunge. Drop your knees. Big toes together, knees out wide. Nice child's pose. And if you turned your head to one side the first time we were here, see if you can turn it to the other side. And if it feels good, bring the arms down by the shins and let the shoulders go. Then find Ujjayi again. Now reach long with the arms. Press into table. Tuck the toes, down dog. Left leg up. Step it forward. Go a little quicker this time. Rise up. High crescent lunge. Twisting to the left. Inhale overhead. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. Finding airplane or finding warrior three. Lifting the arms, airplane. Drop that back foot, walk the hands with the blocks up towards the foot. We'll do our pulsing pyramid. I think I've done things a little out of order, but I think I'm getting them all. A pulse through the pyramid. And then hold. Bend into that front knee. Rise up into high crescent lunge. Open into warrior two. Drop into peaceful warrior. And warrior two, as you cartwheel that back arm around, come back to pyramid. Let's do another warrior three here. See if you can do it without the blocks. So you can keep hands to heart or hands out wide. Come up on that left leg. Arms can be wide or up by your ears or even at heart center. Drop to the ball of the back foot and step back into plank. Holy cow, that was 11, that left leg. Then ripple forward to plank. Lower down, maybe chaturanga gets you there. 3 cobra. Listen for Ujjayi. And exhaling down, tuck the toes, plank. Down dog. Let's pause in down dog for 5. Now swing the right leg back and up. Stepping forward, low lunge. Check the feet out on an inhale, rise up. High lunge, high crescent lunge. Twist open to the right. Swing that back arm forward, come back into high crescent lunge. We're going to kick our way forward to warrior three using the blocks. And maybe you're able to extend the arms out in airplane. Whoa. And softly land, softly on that back foot. Come back up to high crescent lunge. Open out in warrior two. Drop into peaceful. Back to warrior two. Spin that back arm forward as you come back to high crescent lunge. And now we're going to try to hop up into warrior three without using the blocks. And play with the arms here. Dismount is high crescent lunge. Exhale, folding into low lunge. Stepping back into plank. And this time in plank, I want you to bring your forearms to the mat. So forearm plank. Get nice and long. And then let the hips sink down and chest comes forward. We'll arrive in Sphinx. Adjust the elbows if you need to. Stick the hands and the forearms to the mat and the floor and pull. Let that draw your heart forward. Gaze is down the tip of the nose. I want you to tip the chin this time. So tip the head. A little stretch in the neck. Push into the elbows. And then lift the gaze. Now swing the right forearm underneath your chest. Reach out with the left hand and bring the left foot towards your bottom. Swing that hand back there, grab your foot. I think it's easier to come to the inside and then walk my wrists to the top of my toes. Really open through the left chest. Push down in the right elbow. And if you want more, bring that right hand out, push into the hand, straighten the arm. And then exhale, come down. And second side, left forearm under you, right arm out, right heel to your bottom, swing back. You can always use a strap. Or sometimes I see my students grab their pants. I draw that heel toward you, open through the chest, and then try to square the chest to the mat, or at least work in that direction. Push into the left elbow. Pivot on that elbow if you want to deepen this, and then press into the left hand. And breathe. And then exhale and one. Let's find crocodile. So forearms under forehead. Bring the legs wide. Bend the knees. Windshield wiper distance. And then let the legs just flop down there. Roll your forehead across the back of your hand. It's like a nice slow no shake of the head. Pick up the third eye. We'll take about 5 breaths here, but with the intention of letting go with the exhale. Two more. The last one. Now walk the feet hip distance apart again. We'll come into a bow pose. So we'll be reaching back for both legs. I'm going to bend my knees,
swing my arms back without letting my shoulder drop. So I'm opening to reach back there. Grabbing your ankles. And then shoulder blades come towards the spine. Push the feet into the hands. Keep the feet hip distance apart. And let that lift your chest. Take about 3 breaths here. Breathe into the belly, and it's fun to feel the breath rock you. And then exhale, find crocodile again. And this time, just let the shins be down on the floor and sway the hips side to side. So you kind of roll over the calves. Bring the pelvis, wagging the tail. And then come to stillness. Now press into table. And I'm going to turn again. And we're going to come up on the knees. All the way up. So it's like a kneeling mountain pose. Now, if camel is in your practice, that's a back bend where you reach back for your feet. My back doesn't do that, but we're going to come into a back bend here nonetheless. I want you to shrug your shoulders up, back, and down. Take your hands to your sacrum. So the heel of my hand is right at the very top of my pelvis. Draw those shoulder blades back. Lift the heart. Lift the gaze, but keep the neck active. Don't let the head just fall back. Keep the neck active. Think spreading the spine, keeping the spine long, and then softening into this back bend. Again, if camel is in your practice, Strasana, I think it's called, something like that. You can bring your hands back here to your heels. That's just not in my spine. We'll take 3 more breaths here. These back bends are invigorating for the nervous system. And on your next inhale, neutralize the spine. On your next exhale, let's sit back in child's pose. Keeping the knees hip distance apart. If you can bring the forehead to the mat, do that. You can stack this or bring a block underneath your forehead. And let the shoulders go. Breathe up and down the spine. Iron out the kinks with the breath. Now pressing back into table. We're going to turn again, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Swing your right leg back and up. Bend your knee, and as you exhale, shift forward into a 3-legged plank. So we're just going to bring the knee along for the ride, and then inhale up. As you exhale, come forward, but see if you can tap the knee to the outside of the right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, come forward. See if you can tap the knee to, or at least close to, the left elbow. A little twist. Inhale up. And this time as we come forward, we're going to come into pigeon. So drop the knee towards the right wrist. Now reach back long, slide on the top of that left foot, sinking down into the right hip. You can bring a block or a blanket under this right hip. You can come over with your weight onto that hip. Or you can lay on your back and do a number 4 hip stretch. Once you get here, kind of settle into it. And then maybe you walk your hands out. Maybe you come to your forearms. Maybe you bring your forehead to your thumb, or you can even come to the block with the forehead. Find a way to support the head. And breathe into this shape. Listening for Ujjayi. Slide the hands onto the mat right underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes of the left leg and then lift the knee. And I like to kind of hop forward a little bit and come back up into a three-legged dog with the right leg going back and up. Straighten it out long. Then bend the knee again, stack the hips. Square the hips and bring the foot to the mat. We'll take the second side, left leg back and up. Bend the knee, ripple forward, three-legged plank. Just bring the knee along for the ride. Inhale back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward. Tap the knee to the outside of the left elbow. And inhale up. Exhale forward. Bring the knee towards the right elbow. Little twist. Inhale up. And exhale, coming forward into pigeon. Slide back through the right leg. This one in pigeon's called Akapada Kapotanasana or something. It's a really long Sanskrit word. And then settling into this, again, you can support that hip or come into a number 4 on your back. Find a place for your forehead. Bring the hands to the mat. Tuck the toes of that back leg. Lift the knee. Maybe hop forward a little bit. Come back into a three-legged dog. Left leg up. Reach high. Bend the knees, stack the hips. And then unwind, come back to down dog. Shift forward and come down to the knees. So it's time to come into a shape for relaxation. I invite you today to try something that you haven't tried as a shape for relaxation. An option could be crocodile, or an option could be a wide-kneed child's pose, narrow-kneed child's pose, or you can even come into an upright seat. Or you can go back to Shavasana, corpse pose, if that's really calling to you today. So find your shape. I'm going to sit upright today. And if you're sitting upright with me, pick a mudra. I'm holding my hands in Jnana mudra, so that's for wisdom, touching index finger to thumb, palms up. Just breathe. And you can release the Ujjayi sound. And let the breath return to its natural state. Noticing that the breath returns to hardly a whisper, just a tiny breath in, a tiny breath out. See if you can invite your mind to explore the limbs of your body, so the arms and the legs. And at first notice physical sensations. And then I like to think of my arms and legs like tubes. See if you can feel that energy inside those hollow tubes. What do you notice? Rest for a moment of stillness. And now deepening your breath. Bringing movement back to the body. Letting that movement expand. You know how this works. Do what you need to do. Find your way back to an upright seated position. Take your time.
Once you get here, let your eyes blink a few times. And bring your hands to heart center. And this time, let's send the prayer right up the center of the body. And then bring it right back down. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful heart, and may we have a peaceful world. Namaste. Wednesday, I have the half-hour energy boost at 12:15 to 12:45 and 7 a.m. on Friday. Hope to see you again this week. Have a good day. I hope you have a day off. Namaste.